Hi there. Today is January 18th, Sunday. Great day to just recognize what has happened this week, and a lot has happened. So, in our videos, information, like a lot of good things, a lot of good things. And I'm very excited that today got to kind of summarize a little bit of the week with JJ and Debbie on a call. Got to speak to my mom and summarize some key points that I learned past couple days. In addition, I was able to do my reading as Brentley came to to Florida to do the reading with him. So it was very full most of the day till like 2, and then I was able to go and share a couple of hours with my mom, my dad, my cousin, and it was very nice because it's good to spend time with the family. I got to kind of talk to Kelly about some of her concerns about how dad may be not underestimating his heart uh, doctors the doctor's results of his heart, and so you get to see some of that. I got to kind of start that discussion with dad, and also got to hear some other things about like how you know we were all thinking about going on the boat, and as hooked up the boat, it looked like we had Hurricane Maria happening. So, I had to call in and say, wait, USS Titanic has canceled its maiden voyage because we're not going to go in this hurricane. And I don't know, it just was a good day, really good day. And so I want to kind of just start with the Stand Strong book because today it was about Matthew 25:14 to 30. It's a story about the I guess the businessman that left on a trip, and he left to his servants 5 bags of gold to one, 2 bags of gold to another, 1 bag of gold to the other. And based on their skills, he says, "I'll give you more because you're more skilled, and you could do more with it." And the one that did five doubled it to another five. The one that had two doubled it to another two, and the one that had one decided to not do anything, just keep it to himself. And the story kind of says, you know, the ones that doubled, they both got the same recognition. It wasn't the one that had five and got five, he got more recognition than the one that got two. But the one that was missing recognition was the one that did nothing, right? So there's two stories there. One is we will get our request from God to the level of what we deliver. And we at the end of doing that, which is part of his mission and his purpose, and we execute that, it enables maybe something else bigger to happen. But at the end, he recognizes us with the same glory. Doesn't give more to one than the other. So pretty much stop looking at what others are doing and focus on what you're doing for him, right? That's the message. Got my face up here. Um, and then the second story is the one that did nothing, the one that just stayed safe, that they stayed in that heaven and earth that they build, and they're like, I'm not going to waste any of the money of God gave me. I'm just going to be good. Um, God's going to look at that and say, you didn't even try to help me in my mission. You just got afraid and you said, let me just stay in my boundaries. So there's two messages. They're very good. After going through that reading, we went to a table with Jesus, and this is the last day, and it's day 66, 66 books in the Bible, right? And this is the last page of this Table with Jesus book. And it says, Jesus is the victorious king, right? And it says from John's, right? Revelations 21:3 to 4. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. Right? That's pretty amazing. Um, Revelation, right? It's that at the end of all this stuff, we're good. We are saved in him. We're good. right? We will live in that, you know, uh, happiness, where there will be no mourning, no crying, no pain. It will just be amazing. So they tell a story of, when you are a very strong fan of a team, let's say USA or Team Barcelona or whatever, and for me, the Dodgers, right? You always see me with the Dodgers hat. When I was watching a game and they were losing 3-1, I was very stressed. I was like, oh wow, what's gonna happen? When they were ahead, I would be like, whoa, that's great. I'm so happy. Now, when you're watching the game live, that happens to you. That excitement, that stress. Imagine you already know you won. So you're just watching the game, but you already know you won. I mean, you have no stress. They are ahead by 3. You're like, whatever, that's nothing. We're gonna catch up, right? You're not gonna have that feeling because you already know that you won the game. So why do we have that feeling when we know that we already won the game? Our King, Jesus Christ, is victorious King. He already won this battle. He already wrote it that I'm beating it, right? It's just who's going to be with him during that victory. I want to be there, right? And it doesn't matter if I do 5 bags of gold's worth or just one. It's the act of doing, not just being safe, right? So, when we know that we already have victory in Jesus and we love him and we get more people towards him, we don't need to worry about anything else. Nothing else. We don't need to worry about all these revelations. We just need to do our mission today for him, for that day. So the next book was the Gospel. And in that one is Exodus 1 through 3. And it pretty much says the following: nothing is more comforting than knowing that God watches over his people and hears their cries, right? And the way I summarized this was, don't lose the faith because you want things in your time. When you believe, you know his will, it will be done on his time. Keep the faith and don't give in to the instant gratification type of gods of this world. Know that Jesus is our victorious King. You are just rewatching the game, right? It's that point that, when we get desperate in a situation, just like the Israelites, they looked for that instant gratification God, that other idol, that because they lost faith, right? But we're so strong in our faith and we know that he is with us all the time and he's already won, he's victorious. All we need to do is just do his work. He'll take care of everything else. And we don't need to look for that instant gratification. We know in his time it will be done. So I thought that was pretty cool. After that, went to the Red Sea rules, right? And the Red Sea rules, there's 4 things. So it's talking about how to deal with struggle. And it says, that when a person loses a human being, like a wife, a husband, that first time, all the pictures, all the memories just keep bringing you back to that. But when you get to the word and you stay focused on the word, you go beyond that because you start believing you are not alone. I'm with God. I'm with the victorious King. He's with me, right? When the Israelites were going through this, they needed to know that God was with them, that they were not alone. And he made that Red Sea part, right? So there are people are just lifelong Christians and they do the Christian way, right? And sometimes they re-engage in Christianity into a more deeper way, right? So this is how you can deal with those struggles. One, the first way that you deal with it is first know through the word by reading the Bible that God is with us all the time. You have to recognize his presence throughout the day by talking to him, like he's right there. You need to pray, and you'll also manifest him in there in the prayer. And you know the that's how you kind of understand those four elements, right? Is when you read the word and you keep saying, "The Lord is near. Fear not. Behold, speak and do not keep silent. I am with you. I will never leave you, forsake you." Right? That's a way to affirm it by reading it and believing in your heart. Then you visualize it by talking to Him, right? Um, then as you go through that, then you start thinking, okay, well, how do I how can I act more like him, right? Because I read about him, put in my head, read that he's always with me. I talk to him throughout the day. I pray to him, and then the last part is I act more like him. So those four pieces help you get through those struggles because it builds your faith up, right? It's recharging your faith in that victorious King. It's giving you that confidence that He is with you, that you're not alone. And when you know you're not alone, right, and you're with that victorious King, it doesn't matter what you're doing for Him. If it's big or small, it is His will. And in His time, it will happen, right? So as we went to the next book, which is Matthew McConaughey, right? Matthew today was very key. He says, "Blessed are the peacemakers," right? So in the world, we see certain things. We see better or worse. We see good or evil, black or white, wrong or right. And we define what's legal in this world. But without the Spirit, we condemn the word, right? We go and say, that word, that Bible thing, that's not really what can help you in this world, is those things, the law, those kind of things. Without that, we're unable to understand, but we are quick to react, right? So since we don't know really about the word, we're unable to understand it, but whatever you say about it, I can react to something different. We need not to judge, but to act with the word in our hands and let God do God's things, and peacemakers we will be, right? That's how I summarize this. Because, when you don't have the word, you're just a judge. And a judge is not a peacemaker. A judge is letting somebody else down, somebody else win. And laws do that. But with God, you are doing His peace by giving grace, by enabling people to get closer to Him. So that's a great story that Matthew shared with us today. And then we went to How Good Is Our God, the kids' book, and it says the best medicine. And it really was talking about Proverbs 17, verse 22. A happy heart is like good medicine. That just means that, you know, if we laugh, right, you cannot fake a laugh, because if you tickle yourself, you will not laugh like that. And that's a unique thing, and it makes you feel good. You have to think about laughing with intent to love rather than with intent to judge. And because it's the best medicine. If you're sick, laugh. You'll feel good. So as you look at laughter being a gift from God that heals our heart and gives us joy, so we with laughter hurt people because we use laughter as a weapon of judgment, of criticism. So that's not the intent of healing laughter. So I say, Lord, thank you for the gift of laughter. Help me to use it in a way that God makes you smile and brings the joy you've given to others, right? It's like comedians, they all have that medicine that heals you, relaxes you. So, I just wanted to make sure that we all know how God wants us to laugh all day long in His love, in His recognition. So, from that book, went to the Bible, and it was Proverbs 4. And this is Solomon highlighting this. Wisdom is the key. You get it through the word. With it, you won't be stumbled towards towards evil or by evil, right? And that proverb is very clear that you got to seek wisdom through the word, and then you have to show wisdom by giving grace. And as evil will try to stumble you, you'll recognize it and you'll be able to be wise around it and hopefully even convert it. So, those are the readings of today. I mean, they're simple, clear. Why do we have to worry when we already won the victory? Why are we worrying if we're doing this for God or this for God? It's whatever your capability is. He just doesn't want you just to be good, just to save this one soul. He wants you to do something else with it. As you believe, right, that He is with you, you have to, and you'll struggle, but you have to make sure that you understand that even in those darkest hours, He's right there, and you got to learn to see it, and you learn to see it by reading from the Bible and getting those statements that He doesn't forsake you, by going to throughout the day and just saying, "Hey, Jesus, what's up, dude? You're right there sitting next to me." Visualizing Him in your presence. You get it by praying to Him, saying, "Thank you, Jesus, for what you've done." And then you also get it by you acting more like Him, so you feel His presence in you. And that strengthens your faith, which lets you go through the struggles, and you then feel that you're not alone. So then because you believe you with that victorious King, and you have a path, and that path doesn't matter if it's 5 bags of gold or 1 bag of gold. So all we need to do is do this with wisdom, with the capability to keep Him in the forefront and not let evil stumble you that's outside of that. And with that, I'll say thank you. Thank you for the people today. It was a lot of great sharing about lineage of men and brothers and brotherly love and how we accomplish all that. Thank you, God, for the opportunity to share this, to learn from you, to get more from you. God, I thank you for those people that love me, people that are right there with me, giving me the opportunity to discuss this with them, even as they may not understand or think I'm a little crazy. Thanks for those people that support me and are talking to me about Him, and my sister, my dad, my mom, my uh, nephew JJ, Debbie, Ugo. The list goes on. So thank you for all of those. Maida, John, that helped me. I really appreciate how, we have those seeds that we planted, and I could see how God, you leave it alone and God does something good for it. So thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for those seats that we're still looking for and we're trying to get to. And we at Pathfinder have that mission with you, God, to build those troops to be around you, your white horse, and we're going to get to you. We're coming. We're not that far. And we want to be peacemakers with the word. And we want to know that you're always here with us. And whatever path we have, you're with us, right? We want to laugh about it. We want to just recognize through all the practices of reading the word, visualizing you, praying to you, and ultimately being more like you is a great way to keep you with us, through us, helping us not stumble, and give us the confidence that we know that we're with the victorious King. We don't have to worry about any of that. So God bless you all. Till the next one, good night.